Kat, welcome to the Viall Files.
Yeah, it's good to be here. We're wrapped with
Are you
the
okay?
season.
We're okay. It's just
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I know. I'm like, what do I do with my
All right.
body?
Do you need to breathe?
Yeah, no, we're good. Let's
We're
get
good.
into it, man.
Well, so you guys are together.
We are.
Honestly,
are
wasn't
together.
sure how it was going to play out.
So fair.
You know?
Are you bummed that you didn't leave with a ring? Or are you like, you know what?
Girl, no.
Been there, done that. I'm
Yeah.
good.
No,
Yeah.
I'm totally fine without a ring. We've
I
already
honestly
done
like
that.
the way the show was formatted, obviously different, like the new
Yeah.
format. Like I almost like forgot about the engagement
Yeah.
element.
Yeah.
I
Of the
feel like
show?
it made the engagements less like, you're like, oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, the
Justin
money.
Spencer, I guess. But like, it
Yeah.
was like the money.
I think they were more focused on like truly like building relationships. If you see, even though engagements were the forefront of previous seasons, they haven't really worked out that well. So like whatever they're doing this time around, I think worked a little bit better because
Mhm.
we're together and
Yeah,
things are good.
I also think like, people focus on the money aspect, but when you're actually on the show, granted, some of that's in the back of your mind, but it wasn't a topic of conversation with any of us. So we knew that we had to compete at a certain point. But I think it made people dive in a lot deeper. So if they had a
Yeah.
connection or there was something that they were really trying to build, it's like you were going all in and trying to find even more common ground and support your partner.
I'll be honest, I really wanted someone to take all the money.
I mean,
That would have been good TV.
500 racks. I
Yeah.
mean, it is life changing. So
I was a little confused. How did it go from up to $500,000 to two couples had to split $250,000?
Did you expect anything less?
I know.
Like-
It's like, as soon as they said half
Yeah.
a mil, I was like, no one's getting half a mil.
Yeah, like I mean, at the time you were really expecting that to be the case, but then as it went on, you're like, oh wait, they said opportunity. Like it's all about the
Mhm.
wording.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, we'll try to
Yeah.
get
I
that.
mean,
It's
like when you
okay.
break it down, they're only getting $75K each of them.
That was my
With
first question to
taxes.
him when they told us. I
Oh,
go,
we
"What are the
started-
taxes?" I was like, "I need to know. I don't understand this
The
world."
250, divide that by half. 125, divide that by half. It's not even 75.
Yeah. I mean, the
yeah.
taxes.
They're getting
make a
like
difference.
Wow.
Still, I mean, that is a whole income.
I'm
of
not
a
sure
year.
what the Costa Rican
taxes.
tax.
I don't know, but actually, I guess you could get creative, but I mean, regardless, I think at the end of the day, if it was winning, it was the biggest thing. The money wasn't incentive, but you just wanted to win for your partner and you wanted to win for each other. So that was, one of the tougher things, at least for me personally, just because at the end of it, I felt a little let down, just because I had felt like I let Kat down a little bit. But
Why do you feel like you let Kat down?
Boy things.
boy things.
things.
I mean, the,
You're so
You weren't
competitive.
You
competition
weren't
aspect.
strong enough.
No.
It's funny when
Oh.
we're watching. I go, I don't know. Dale's a pretty big guy, and then like seconds later, you fell in the pool.
Oh, guys,
Fun-
his
fun
crush out was
fact.
actually.
I was frustrated. So before filming, I tore my lat and my tricep, and we had no strength competitions the whole time.
How
And
do you tear?
I was actually in Costa Rica, well before the show, and I was working out and in training, and I did like a pull up, and my hand slipped off the bar, caught my arm right here. I didn't even know my lat was torn until halfway through Paradise. But that's not an excuse, but it was a
Sounds like-
frustrating.
No,
Sounds
that's
thing.
an
like an
excuse.
excuse.
That's an excuse.
Kind of a good excuse.
No, that's why
You
I
were
kept trying to
injured.
tell him.
Hey, rehab PT, but at the
Boys
end of
don't
the
like to
day,
talk
like
about that,
it's not something I ever talked about because it didn't matter, right? We're gonna go out there and just try to put it all on the line. But yeah,
Well, they always say you're only as strong as your weakest link.
yeah,
And
yeah.
do you think you were the weakest link, or do you think it was?
I was
Kat?
definitely the weakest link, no
Oh,
question,
please.
no question.
I was like,
That's why I
no.
took it so hard.
He was holding the whole thing. I was like trying to hold more. I remember being like, we can like call it. Like, I don't want you to hurt yourself. I think we saw
Because did
that.
you know about his injuries before?
Yeah. Well, I found out how extensive it was kind of like during the competition because, boys like don't like to show their
Yeah.
weakness. So like as it was going on, I was like, oh, like he's actually injured. Like, I don't care. Like, let's call it. But it's fine. It all worked
cleared
out.
by a doctor. It's all gravy.
I think what was amazing about that day is like the whole concept was like your partner carries like the weight of the world. And yeah, that was like a physical challenge. But later in the evening when I couldn't handle emotionally things, like he technically like carried the weight and like stood for both of us. So in a way, like we kind of won a better challenge because it was put to a test.
Yeah. And she definitely calmed me down just because I was so frustrated after the fact. And I think that's kind of a dynamic throughout the whole season. Sometimes one of us would be high, the other would kind of bring us back down and ultimately like move past it quickly. The end of the day, it was just that we were standing together throughout the entirety of the season.
Well, we'll get into the details of Paradise, but since you guys are together, I'd love to know what you guys have been up to. Like, when did you guys stop filming?
Last week of May.
Last week of May.
Oh, wow,
last week of
okay.
May.
He
And
was
now
in San
it's
Diego.
September. Is it the 1st? 2nd?
Second,
Happy
yeah.
September, everybody.
Happy
Oh my gosh.
September.
Scary. Virgo season.
So yeah, so you guys have been together for how long now?
What is
4
that?
months?
June, July, August, September. Wait,
Since-
Can you count for
June,
me?
July.
I guess
I always
technically,
count it wrong. 4 months?
if we talk about after the
I
show,
think 3 months.
since June. Yeah, so it was.
And
Go ahead.
you live in San Diego.
Mhm.
You live in New York.
Yep.
And so what did you guys, because obviously you left Paradise as a couple, but was kind of unclear, like,
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, like for all we knew, like the next day you guys could have been like, all right, well,
Yeah.
nice knowing you. Like as you guys left Paradise, like what conversations did you guys have? Was there will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? Like how did you guys become an actual couple outside of a reality TV environment?
I think the same way we approached it during the show, but we had a lot of the conversations of things that were important to us. If we're going to build this into a strong relationship,
Mhm.
and I think we were realistic about just our lives before things, our priorities, and we took the time. Obviously, anytime you get into a situation, there's stuff from the past that comes up on both sides. But I think communication is the biggest thing, and just being very, very clear and having some of the hard conversations, but also like speaking to the things that we both wanted or both want out of a relationship in the future.
So were you like, will you be my girlfriend?
Well, I actually asked him on TV because it was a joke. I kept calling him my boyfriend, like, but I hadn't like technically like we hadn't established that. So I wrote like the "Are you my boyfriend? Yes or no" thing.
You did. I saw that.
But we definitely did speak about like how we were going to move when we left Paradise, because even though the money was there, we're like, well, no matter what, we're still leaving together. And I think I call it like phases. Like that was phase 1 was filming, and phase 2 is like the real challenge, like watching it air, going through life, like navigating secrecy, like trying to do things to build a relationship without being able to, kind of because of the publicness that comes with it. And I think that's like a real testimony to like our strength. And I think we've handled it really well. But yeah, I mean, he was in San Diego like by 3 days after filming, after you stayed there for a little bit. And then we were just kind of like trying to see each other anytime we could.
Mhm.
I feel like we've made a really good effort, and I can't really go to New York because it's too public, but we've been hiding out.
What were some of the tough conversations that you guys had to have?
I mean, I was very honest when I first came into to the show. Like, I didn't want to fall back into old patterns. I'm someone who checks out, and I'm not a big dater. But and I told Kat this, like, I never wanted to put someone in a box that they didn't deserve to be in. Also, like, I was worried, was I going to be able to feel again after a previous relationship that, someone who's a great person, it just didn't work out.
Are we talking about Claire? Or are you talking about like
Oh, it's after
some
Claire.
like out?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I think
a
Claire's
normie relationship?
doing well from what I know now, which is
Okay.
is great. But you just move past things. So I think a lot of it was things that I had to deal with, personally, and we talk about locations and how things like that would work, which is something that we're going to navigate together.
Are you pretty settled in New York?
I've been there 10 years. I've got my agency and some businesses there. One of the good things is that, I've taken 52 flights this year, so I can kind of be where I need to be. But I've also said that for me, home is where I build a relationship. And that is kind of what I always stick to. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I think we're both understanding that, like, we have our priorities with our life and our career. But if you're going to build a life, you eventually have to make some tough decisions, and that's what we're navigating right now. We can be public and just really enjoy ourselves, which is great, and all that other stuff will work itself out. Unfortunately, we've got the means and the ability to kind of navigate that.
Kat, you obviously ended Paradise last time,
Mhm.
and wasn't you got engaged?
I did get engaged.
And I did.
Trending.
Hey, listen,
I
you're not gonna get
All the
any-
cool kids are doing it.
You're not gonna get
Yeah.
any, you're not gonna get any
You gotta do
judgment
it
from
once,
me.
I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, like that comes with, just like I don't know, maybe not PTSD, but like a more of a How did you want to approach this experience different than last, knowing that, like, I mean, it's very complicated entering. You both know this. Starting a relationship on TV, very fast, very intense. you want it to be real. There's a real element of it, but there's a part that's just it's not real.
Yeah.
Because you just have to get to know each other. I mean, maybe you've spoken on it in the past, maybe you haven't. I don't know, but like, why didn't that relationship work? And coming into this experience, how did you want to move differently, specifically you?
Yeah, lots of things. Well, I think just as we grow and evolve, like we're different people. The version of myself back then, and especially that last paradise, I kind of didn't know my needs or wants. I kind of would just like allow anything. So even though there was blatant like things that said maybe this isn't your person or you should probably like slow down a little bit, I wasn't seeing those like signs. And then I think being in those environment and stuff like that, you set this like expectation that it's going to go a certain way and you'll kind of like convince yourself that it's going to go that way no matter what. And then watching it back and moving through my own like things afterwards with other relationships, I learned a lot about like, okay, it's better to actually take things slow and let things happen the way they're supposed to. So this time coming in, I mean, I was like actively journaling every day. That really matters. I was just like making myself very present. If I did feel like I was kind of getting wrapped up in the moment, I was checking in with, the therapist like almost every 3 days or so, just to kind of like reground myself and being very like aware that emotions are forming here, but still there's so much more to learn about someone after. So like just letting things play the way they're supposed to, but not putting so much emphasis on how it's going to end, essentially, if that makes sense. Like I just didn't want to set these like unrealistic expectations, then end up like hurting my own feelings. But I think having him too, like he's kind of already gone through it as well. Like we had that like connection. So I felt a little bit more safer in that. I think what I struggled with before was trying to navigate somebody that you really didn't know in real time and trying to handle all the things that come with the airing of the season. And that was really difficult. But I think even with the challenges and just like time that we had spent together, I really got to like see his character, how we face adversity, how we move through things to feel at least safe enough to try outside, knowing that it still might not work.
What phase of the relationship are you guys in right now?
Oh,
I
is
mean,
it phase 1, phase 2?
I don't know. Yeah, I
Maybe
mean, like,
phase 2 plus.
I mean,
Is your boyfriend and girlfriend? We're not.
BF,
This isn't like
GF.
we're seeing each other.
No engagement talks or
No,
anything
no,
right
no.
now. But I think like, you have the show and we built the foundation there. I think when we talk about after the show in June, it was still a deep exploration phase for the both of us. We had many conversations, things that sprung up with both of us that weren't created by the other partner, right? Now moving forward, we're just in a very, very strong place. I don't really know how to say
Are y'all falling in
phases.
love? Are y'all in love?
Oh, you guys like want like the Bachelor terms?
Well, I mean, if
we
you
like to
give
make
us-
fun of them, but I mean, also, but like also,
What
have you guys said I love you?
We just say, yeah, I guess.
You sure?
I mean, he doesn't like to like talk about it.
about what?
You guys have a public relationship.
I know.
Oh, I know, but we always like also, I think I've always been, you go on a show, there's these aspects, and it's also, there's certain things that you share, with people because you're proud of, but there's also things that, you kind of keep tight, but like,
But we're
there's
not
been no
proud that
doubt.
we
I
love
said
each
it on
other.
on the show, like, I love and care for Kat deeply. We have all the conversations of what it looks like, if it's kids, if it's, a home and what we want. So yeah, I guess I've never just phased like a relationship. Like,
But the love is there. The love has grown. We do express like that to one another. I'm just still very like, now we're moving to like the fact that now we're going to be public and then it's going to have its own things. And honestly, we can probably grow even deeper. It is still really difficult to like try to build a relationship in private long distance.
Yeah.
So now that we have that like ability to do that, it's just going to give it even more space to grow and evolve. But
Do you both want kids? I know you just mentioned kids. Is that something you want as an individual?
Yeah,
And
for
yeah,
sure.
I think one of the greatest gifts in the world will be to be a father.
It
I
is,
think,
indeed.
with a child
Yeah.
seeing my partner
Okay.
in my child's eyes is like a gift, that I'll look forward to each and every
How old are
day.
you?
36.
How old are you?
29.
Okay. And it's safe to say at this stage in both your lives, you're not dating or having a boyfriend and girlfriend, knowing that you're two individuals who like want to have a family.
Yeah,
Right.
I was never a big dater before. I think taking time for me, it's always been take time to meet someone and get to understand them well. The relationship will form in its on its own, but I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm not trying to waste anyone else's time. And I think even with Paradise and after the fact, like you saw the way it ended, but it's like, hey, I'm standing here with you. Like We're going to go through the conversations. We're going to do what we have to do to build this as strong as possible. But we're also, and we're going to support each other. So yeah, we're not just trying to like casually,
Yeah.
hang out. And
I mean, he's met my family. He's met my cat. That matters a lot.
it's all
That's
about the
been
cat daddy.
Yeah,
That
he's
is
has a
important.
relationship with my cat. So
Well, in
that's
the
my baby.
4 or 5 months you guys have dated, what's something each of you have learned about the other person that is like an obstacle or an ick or a challenge where it's just like, okay, well, we can work through that,
No,
like,
take some
literally,
time.
that is literally my response.
You can work through that.
what is something?
I
'Cause I'm
think
sure there's
that-
got to be something.
I mean, I think I've just learned about Dale, like how, I actually like, we kind of saw it on TV a little bit, but he cares so much about being like a good provider and partner. And I think he puts so much pressure on himself. So if things are expressed where he feels that, like almost like he's not doing the right thing or not doing enough or disappointing somebody, it can make him very like, no, I'm this, that, and the other. And he thinks very logically. I'm a little bit more emotional based and kind of like the textbook stuff. And I think that learning through how we both interpret things and having like trying to adjust or at least understand that from one another has allowed us to really like any conflict or things that we need to talk about, it brings us closer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think a big thing is it's more just understanding, and that's something that comes with time. Like our careers are different. We're both really focused on our life and our careers. I have flexibility, but also like I got a lot of people relying on me. People who I pay their rent, or at least chip in on it. Obviously. So I wouldn't say it's like it's not an ick or a red flag or anything like that, but it's just the understanding that like I got to grind, and I like working. I'm in a phase where like I'm very, very passionate about the things that I'm doing, and I take care of a family. I'm going to retire my dad. He's not doing it himself. My siblings, my sister Amber that has physical and intellectual disabilities. We just took her out of her group home. I help pay for our house back in South Dakota. So I think it's just the balance of responsibilities, not only with our relationship, but I do provide for a family currently. And she's been extremely supportive and understanding. But I know it can be frustrating.
I think I
on
had to
your
learn
end
that
with me
like,
as well.
yeah, if he's working, like that doesn't mean he doesn't like me any less, little bit of anxious
Yeah,
attachment
yeah.
definitely sparked in the beginning. And
Yeah.
we had to talk about it. He's like, listen, just because I'm like not like there or whatever doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about you any less or whatever. So those are like things that I had to work through within myself too to understand, because this is a new relationship dynamic. And again, not being able to be public has really affected that, because a lot of things we probably could do together
Yeah,
that
Right.
now we
just
can.
weren't in the cards.
Yeah, we just couldn't because it would be public. But yeah, just definitely.
So there's been no icks?
What is, I don't
Like
know.
you haven't tripped over
I definitely
your
give
feet?
him the ick in some capacity. I like, there's no way that I'm just like, he just like plays it off.
Yeah, I'm just
cool.
like I
didn't-
often say it's not that deep. It's all good. It's okay. It's
I
not
mean,
that
probably when I'm like just going on rants on the phone and he just like put the phone in. So I did not know he did
deep. Oh
that.
I turned the volume down and put it on speaker.
And he starts like cooking
Wait,
dinner, and
you'll be, like,
what you're watching.
I
the
guess I'm
show.
just
Dale?
talking. No,
Random screams
I'm
and outbursts.
spewing about life or like something, never at him, but like
Yeah.
I'm and I'm like, hello? And he's like,
I'm like,
I'm here.
yeah, no, I'm here. I'm
and I
here.
was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that. Like,
So like,
because
how long have I been going?
in the past, like if that was the case, like I would be like, the relationships, yeah, they weren't very understanding the way he is, but he just kind of like accepts me for who I am. So that I'm sure it gives you the ick, but I
Well,
love it.
we've obviously covered the show. We think it's a fun, silly show. We don't take our commentary that seriously.
Yeah.
I preface that by saying we've called you crazy.
So fair. I'm a good crazy though.
Yeah,
No,
which we
yeah.
appreciate. You're
Yeah.
excellent TV. You're like, oh,
Yeah, I
that's,
learned that.
she's coming in hot. But like, yeah, do you feel like you were accurately portrayed on this show?
I think this second round was very closer to true to form, but I just also think I've evolved as a person.
Mhm.
In general, like, you can't have everyone's personality or characteristics be shown to the fullest extent. I do think things were taken out of context a little bit more than they should have a few years ago, but I also gave them that. And I definitely didn't know how to manage or regulate my emotions. Like I was a different person 2 years ago. I think this year or this time was definitely closer to true to form. I actually was really impressed with how they were editing everyone. But I mean, I am who I am. I go on a reality TV show in the middle of your 20s, like, you're going to
Mhm.
have some ups and downs for sure. My growing pains just happened to be like broadcasted on national television. But
Dale, had you watched
No.
had you kept up
Nope.
with any Bachelor? You hadn't.
Like when I came on to the beach, because I committed officially 4 days before filming.
Wow.
And it was something that I was definitely open to doing. Committed 4 days before, and I kind of caught up a little bit, like on the flight down to Costa Rica. But I also didn't want to dive in too much on people's previous. I had no idea who was on the
I
beach.
didn't
I
either,
met
too.
Justin before, but outside of that, I didn't know anybody.
Was this the first time you were asked to come back to Bachelor Nation?
Yeah, I was pretty clear, like, and I didn't have a bad experience, certain things
Unique
happen.
experience.
Yeah, very unique experience.
I haven't even
Did
seen
you
the
feel
season.
shortchanged? I mean, like that was I don't know how much you've spoken about showing up to a show and then someone demanding to get engaged to you. I don't like, did you feel
demand.
pressured?
I didn't feel shortchanged on anything. I'll always say if I make a decision or I say like I did that like by my choice. Claire's in a great relationship. She's got her child, which I'm very, very happy for her. It's just you go through those, and I think what I did learn is like I did have this want and this need to, and because of my upbringing, and some of the things that my mom had to deal with, I wanted to be that person who could heal someone's pain, or I wanted to be as good of a person as possible, or I believe that if you try hard enough, you can make it work with anyone. And it wasn't about two bad people. It's just we were just different, and sometimes that doesn't line out. And going into this, like fast forwarding, I had moved through my past relationship. I felt like I was in a great place in life and career. Honestly, I was really burnt out, and I was like, I just want to give up control. So it was a big thing for me to go on. And then I said this earlier, I didn't want to put anyone in a box based on like fears and concerns or insecurities that I had. I never watched Cat season before. I heard they were pretty entertaining.
Fun.
She works. It's a great work of art.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
And
You know.
I truly probably won't watch him. She
I've
tried
never
to show
seen
me a
Nick's
clip
either,
before.
so yeah.
I haven't seen his.
You tried to show me a clip one time.
Yeah, I
was
was
like,
too
I can't.
triggering.
Yeah.
Please.
Of Dale's?
No, of me.
Of you.
I was.
You tried to show him.
I tried to show him like one clip of me being funny. Like I thought it was funny, like yelling about men pissing me off. Like that's hilarious. But I hadn't seen his either. And also coming into the season, I knew.
But if you blinked, you would have missed it.
I heard.
It was quick.
I heard all the tea. Previously, I came into Paradise knowing every single thing about every single man. I came in with my best friends. Like my best friend was the Bachelorette, so I knew everything about everyone there. And I haven't watched or been connected since I left. So coming in kind of with like a blank space, I think really helped too. Because then you get to know someone for what you see and not based on previous judgment.
Also, like one thing I got, if someone was like, "Oh, cat this, cat that," like the thing I saw immediately was growth. Like it was apparent of even just how she's talked about her past experience to this one, and for me, that was the biggest thing. And that's what I focus on because we all go through shit in life. Like nobody's perfect. We all have, some traumas or we have triggers and stuff. But it was extremely apparent to me early on, which is why we stayed together throughout the whole thing.
As a Packer fan, Dale, I've known about you for a long time.
Nothing too glorious, but I got the shot.
But Packer fans love their undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
They're very athletic wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I knew all about you.
There was a chance.
We were rooting
sure.
for you.
Green Bay was the most amazing experience for me. It was a chapter. Yeah, I to this day I love Green Bay. Also, they got Micah Parsons.
I'm aware. Yeah.
So do you keep like who is your team?
Yeah, do you have a team?
I don't really have a team.
don't?
I follow the league. I've hosted like during a few Super Bowls, and I still am very involved with the NFL.
But you did some stuff with the Vikings, did you not?
No. So I was Packers. I didn't have a glamorous career.
Didn't you have? But you scored a regular season touchdown, have you not?
Nope.
You never did?
No, I was injured, torn labrum, came back to Chicago. So I was there with Lovie Smith, Mark Trestman.
Okay.
And then
maybe you weren't as good as I thought.
He's like, all
You're
right.
kind of hyping him up for a second. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
I played 1 year of football after turning down
I
a
do
pro
remember
contract
when they
in
signed
college
you
for
then. I
basketball.
remember this day, your RAS score was pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, 4.38 40, 42-inch vert. At least I
4.38
had
40.
a little juice in the legs. But no, it was just a chapter, but it gave me so many opportunities after. I love the game. I love competing. But I feel like I'm more connected with the NFL now than when I was playing, honestly.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listen, people, therapy is important. It's great to get things off your chest. When you bottle things up, bad things can happen. We certainly know how intimidating therapy can be. It can be inconvenient. Also, it can be very difficult to find a great therapist that you connect with, and that's what matters most. What's so great about BetterHelp is they help alleviate all of those pain points. They're working with over 30,000 different therapists, so the chances of you connecting with a therapist that's right for you, and you can keep switching therapists for free until you land on someone that you feel great about. And it's incredibly convenient. All you need is a device to connect with your therapist.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/VIALL. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VIALL. From emails to reports and project proposals, it's more challenging than ever to meet the demand of today's competing priorities without some help. Grammarly is the essential AI communication assistant that boosts productivity so you can get more of what you need done faster, no matter what or where you're writing.
AI-powered tone features help you communicate confidently. We certainly know how much your team is wasting proofreading emails, making sure it has the right tone. You never want to come off as curt or short. Let AI and Grammarly help your team save so much time and let your team do what you hired them to do. Be creative, whatever they went to school for. No one wants to waste time making sure commas are in the right place or things are spelled properly.
90% professionals say Grammarly has saved them time writing and editing their work. Grammarly sets the standard for responsible AI you can trust. You can write and edit quickly with context-aware suggestions everywhere you write.
Oh, I can tell you from personal experience that our team is far more efficient because of Grammarly. We are getting more done faster, and we're wasting a lot less time typing emails or making mistakes in communication because of Grammarly.
Let Grammarly take the busy work off your plate so you can focus on high-impact work. Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com/podcast. That's Grammarly.com/podcast.
If you guys don't work out, why won't you?
Wow, Nick, that's an intense question. Life maybe, like career or like.
I mean, I think
I
just
don't
staying
know.
in the public eye, like just in general, is hard on any relationship. It's
Well,
strange,
he's
you know,
been
like
so good though. Like I couldn't be with a better person to manage the anxieties that come with that because I love to like get myself worked up.
mhm.
And he brings me back down to earth very quickly because of just his like, you're just like grounded in who you are, and it helps me like reground myself. So
Yeah,
honestly,
I
that's
don't.
been our least challenging thing is the public
I don't.
response.
Yeah, and for me, like I don't. It doesn't really affect me as much as most, and it's probably just because I tune out or like I'm so kind of
He's always
tunnel
like, it's not
vision on
that deep.
certain things.
Mhm.
But I think if anything, it'd be priorities and alignment, right?
Yeah.
I think like love, like those things are always there, but for any relationship to work, I always say, and I truly believe this, love is not enough. It is the most important thing, but to make a relationship work, there's a lot of other things that go into it. But we haven't even had that conversation because it's not like we're not going into each day like fearful of if this doesn't work out and
Mhm.
what that would look like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like I mean, have you always not cared about what the public has thought about you? I mean, obviously, like you had your stint on the show, but like, did you keep up with any of that, or were you always just like, I don't give a fuck, I'm doing my own thing anyways? Like, I
I
don't
mean,
care.
when you're going through like some smoke, like obviously some stuff seeps in, but I've been kind of under a microscope since I was a kid. Like I was the only, black kid in my community till roughly sophomore year in high school.
Wow.
I didn't know a lot of my mom's side of the family because of, a biracial marriage and some disagreements there. I was the top athlete since I was a, Gatorade player of the year in high school. We had no pro sports teams, dual sports star in college. So like, I think like attention and awareness, I was always aware of my surroundings, but I never fed into it too much because I know how fast like things can change. And then fast forward, just being in New York, I was around a lot of circles and stuff that, I never really share. It was just like, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think fast forward to like after Claire and I split, obviously we were in the pandemic. I think it was one of the most viewed shows in history of the franchise. And some of those things like, were really, really tough, but you also move through those and then you just put up barriers and boundaries. And at this stage, like my life, the show is an amazing experience. I'm so happy to be a part of Bachelor Nation, but I've got my business, I've got
It's
my
not like
venture,
your whole
like I've
life,
got all my
yeah.
other
Yeah.
things. So like, at the end of the day, and that's sometimes like, I don't try to hide it from the show in any way, shape, or form. I
It's just not your
just,
entire personality
yeah, it's just
trait.
not my entire thing.
Are you
But
going on the cruise?
I'm not doing the cruise.
Sounds like a nightmare.
I think I'm doing
I know, I
similar.
saw that. I would get so
Cruises
sick.
are,
Thanks.
look,
I would
like,
get so
cruises are
seasick. They
fun,
knew not
though.
to ask me because
Cruises
I would
are
literally
not
You're
get
a cruise
sick.
guy?
I went to Greece. I took my sister to Greece on a cruise, and it was
Okay,
amazing.
Greece is probably
That's
different than like
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one would, because you'd be on so much.
Corinne Olympius famously told me once when I said I hate cruises, she told me I don't know how to cruise then.
Not cruising
Uh-uh.
There
around.
you go.
Kat, I want to address like the elephant in the room when it
Okay.
comes to how the final episode ended. Alicia, she came in here hot.
Yeah.
And then we saw it in the finale.
Yeah.
And the finale kind of backed up what her opinion, at least. Not,
Yeah.
but obviously she came in here, suggested that you came into Paradise with a boyfriend. There was the iPad or extra phone accusation, and kind of that you were playing the game. Also that you and Sean were like homies,
Yeah.
best friends, friends with each other's families,
Like holidays together.
holidays together,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. Sean said as much at the finale, and then obviously you were activated from that accusation. I would love to like just hear your point of view because it wasn't really addressed. Obviously, you seemed upset. Dale came to your defense, you know, wanting to be the honorable man that he is. But I'd just love for you to
Yeah.
address it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's
I mean, it's obviously was a lot in the moment, and then it became a lot in real time a few weeks ago. When it comes to being in a relationship, I did not come in with a boyfriend. I definitely did leave with one. So that's point blank period there.
what was it then?
What was
Was it a
where
completely fabricated story, or was it
it was a story that I think I would have appreciated a little bit more, I guess, conversations with me before things were spoken on so factual and also publicly
Mhm.
because, you know, no one had a conversation with me prior. And I think when you're hearing, if you want to speak on something to that extent, it should be really like, okay, this is exactly how it is. And was I dating before Paradise? Of course. I wasn't going to stop my life. I didn't even know if I wanted to do the show yet.
Mhm.
And I was seeing my ex at the time a little bit, but also like I was just not stopping my life, you know, but that did not mean that I was coming in with this idea that I was going to, you know, fake it and then leave. But I do wish that things were at least addressed with me personally, like one-on-one, before things were expressed the way that they were. And
Was
there,
this a relationship that you needed to address with that person when you left?
I think that, no, I mean, no.
Did you ever
I
speak
came
to
into
them?
Paradise saying like this is going to help me figure out what it is that I need to do. That relationship, I have no ill will towards him at all, but it wasn't the healthiest. I think he can agree with that. And, you know, everyone's I think can understand like, maybe what that feels like. And I really did want to use this experience to kind of help me see things more clear and kind of break away a little bit, which is exactly what it provided. So maybe, yes, there could have been like a conversation, but not like I'm breaking up with you conversation, if that makes sense. Or like, hey, like you're not my boyfriend anymore. Like, no, I think he can also agree that that was the situation for what it was. But
But
yeah,
you definitely had a conversation though after filming with this
well, I
person?
had to because, you know, I wanted to clear up if there was also anything that was said to him that may have been misconstrued or misunderstood because I didn't know exactly what was expressed to him from Sean and Alicia. So I wanted to like,
Oh, they reached out to him?
yeah, they called him.
Oh. Yeah, what were the receipts that they were referring to, do you know?
So I based on what I've been told, there are no actual receipts. So I'm not sure. I have receipts from my therapist though. She said she'd release my clinical notes to prove that I didn't have a boyfriend. I said, let me sign the patient release form. But
I mean, I hear you. Like,
I mean,
listen, it's a tricky thing with
I just
when
had-
it
yeah.
comes to Bachelor Nation. I like not stopping your life. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone, if they're really being honest, goes on this show anything other than open to the possibility of maybe
Exactly.
meeting someone, knowing that like they probably won't.
Right.
And I think everyone who goes on the show
Well, I came
is
in a
excited
little,
for the
yeah.
opportunities that come with it.
Right.
Like, you're an idiot if
Yeah, you would say that
you
ways.
only show up for love. You're kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, that is what I did before. And that did not work out very well. So I was like, you know what? I came in all these other times, like so focused on leaving in a relationship, and that's all I wanted, right? And I had a failed engagement, and the experience was not the best even during. So I wasn't coming in like super hopeful, but I was open to it. but I just didn't want to put that pressure on myself. And I feel like if I had stopped my life before completely, I mean, to be honest, I signed my contract at Stagecoach. Like I literally decided like right before I left. Like,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not kidding.
Yeah.
I started wearing everybody's clothes because I was like, I didn't prepare for this. But that's where I was coming from. It wasn't like I just wanted to be very like realistic with this situation and the experience. But the last thing I expected was to actually like meet an adult and like form a real relationship the way that we did, which honestly I think is what makes it even better, because when you're not going in with that idea, things can really form.
So did they make up you sneaking in an iPad, or did you have an iPad?
I did not have an iPad.
You did not
I did
have
not
an
have an
iPad.
iPad
Was
during
it
filming.
phone? Was
I
it
did not
did you
have a
any other
laptop.
device?
No, and like guys, like they have not been shy about showing people on this season. I think if I had those devices or messages on my arms other than my tattoos,
Yes, the messages on
the
your
messages on the
arms.
arms.
Yeah.
Like
Cynthia
Jill
told us
said,
that.
I only have spray tan and tattoos on me. So, but I think that
That was
would have
wild.
been shown. I think that would I don't think they were afraid of that, right? So, no, there was no
Mhm.
communication to the outside world through any electronic device. I
Why
can
do
make
you
that
feel
very
like
clear?
they made that up about you?
I'm not sure where they were coming from with that, which is kind of why I wish that was like a conversation that at least they addressed with me.
I mean,
And
I also just, my sense, even because you see things back and you see some of the ITMs and the conversations
Yeah.
and stuff. And like, obviously there was some, you know, some frustration and some hurt there.
yeah,
And I don't know, some people move past it pretty quickly. Others take it to another level.
How did you deal with it? Because obviously, like, you guys barely knew each other in
Mhm.
Paradise. You're getting to know each other. You don't really know who each other is until you get outside of the show. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you are hearing these accusations in real time, certainly, like, you came to Kat's defense, you wanted to protect her, but like, it was clear that, like, you know, it's how do you know what to believe? So yeah, how did you work through that, knowing that it was like you would be crazy to just
Yeah.
dismiss the accusation
Yeah,
without
yeah.
like at least following up and just wondering what is true, what's not true,
Right.
because again, like, these are very weird elements. It's a weird environment. So how did you work through it to like not have this ruin whatever trust you guys built leading up to that moment?
Yeah, I think like in that moment, like I heard what was said, what was, you know, shared, but ultimately it's like whatever is going to happen moving forward, we're going to figure it out after the fact. So in that moment, you know, I saw Kat being attacked.
Mhm.
I didn't take anything too deep and too personally. I was just concerned about her well-being, making sure that she was, you know, felt safe, and obviously she had to take a moment to kind of do her thing. And my focus also was like, look, whatever it is, like I'm 36 years old. Like there's real shit that goes on in life. Like if this is something, if there's any truth to this, if this is what we have to like go through, like this is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Also, it's a conversation after the fact because, you know, the reality was we could be going home and those things we could figure out. But I wasn't going to pin anything against anybody as truth without having any context or anything. And if there was any conversation, I was going to go directly to Kat. We were going to have a conversation when emotions weren't high and just speak openly and truthfully. So I think that's also too, we came off, and that's what June was for, right? If there
Mhm.
was anything lingering or any other questions or
Mhm.
this or that. Also, you know, if there's any other carryover from that any relationship goes through, right? Things that spring up that might have been a trigger or something in the past. So, but it didn't affect me. Like I wasn't thinking about anything that happened before Paradise because all I was focused on was in the moments while we were there. You know, and I also understood where we finished.
Yeah.
And whatever there was before is something that could be worked through. Because it didn't really matter, you know,
Yeah, I think we
at
grew.
least not in that moment.
This is like such a breath of fresh air.
Dude, I know. Girl, I was so scared. I was like, I mean, that's, I think, is a testimony to his like securement with himself, because I definitely have been with a decent amount of men that would hear that and their ego and their things, and they would immediately like not want anything to do with it. But it is true. Like, we are adults. We've been through life. We are living our own normal life.
Dale, you're just like, I'm better than this guy anyway. So
I just like I
Period.
like
He's
I
like,
will
"I don't
say
care."
outside of the deaded moment when it was a trigger and I had a little bit too much rosé.
I literally,
do love your rosé.
After that
He loves
episode, I was on the
his
phone
rosé.
with someone from my team, my manager or something, and I don't know what the fuck we were talking about, and I was like, "Can we just I was like, "Motherfucker."
No, I'm using it in sentences
No, but
now too.
Kat's sitting there like he's speaking in code. It's like did it.
I know, I get it now. I actually
But,
use it. I use it very often.
Yeah, but that things don't. It takes a lot to get a rise out of me. Like, in that
I
moment,
try.
that was just a trigger
Hopefully.
of something that happened. One of those things that you don't expect. But it's also like a moment you look back that like people go through stuff, right? And we've
Yeah.
all had our moments, and we want to prove a point. The logic versus the emotional, the timing versus like. But yeah, there wasn't. I didn't have any anger towards really anybody on the show. Like it takes a lot to get me heated, but also it's like what's the point? Like why give someone fuel to the fire in those moments? And
Yeah.
ultimately,
I didn't want to do.
I wasn't thinking about anybody else in that capacity or that deeply to where it could affect me and really like break and tear me down. The only person who could affect me on the show was Kat, like that. So that's kind of it was the approach.
Yeah.
And Kat, your friendship with Sean.
Yeah. So let's talk about the friendship.
Let's talk about the friendship.
Yeah.
with
Let's.
Sean.
I don't want it to
two
be
very different versions.
Yeah, and like that's perception, right? And I think I just don't want this to ever be a he said she said thing. But I'll just speak on my experience.
Give us the she
and
said.
opinion. Okay, as long as I'm the she. Sean and I were friends. Like first Paradise, we were from the same hometown. We have mutual friends, and then we kind of were like friends after a few Paradise, which was 2 years ago, right? And we talked about like boy and girl like dating stuff, right? He was someone that I talked to about like with John Henry and everything. But once I moved to San Diego, we didn't really like, it's not like we like talked every day or like monthly or anything. And so he met my ex twice. Okay. So best friends, I don't know if that's how he wants to call it, but he only met him because my ex and I are from the same hometown. I was home and then I was like, hey, you should like, let's meet up like at a bar or whatever and say hi and get like, catch up. And then that's when he met my ex. So that, was the extent. And then as far as holidays, same thing. We did not spend the holidays together. We were at the same local bar in the same hometown during holiday time because I was home. I don't know if you would consider that holidays together, but for me, that was kind of like where it went. And then
You just ran into each other at a bar?
Yeah, literally. I didn't even know who was going to be at that bar, actually.
That's definitely not spending the holidays
Yeah.
together.
So
Definitely not spending
I'll tell you the exact
holidays
part too. It was my first time being there. It was in Tampa. And I was like, oh my God, classic. Everybody in Tampa is like, everyone is like around the same, goes to the same places. So he met my sister there because I was with my little sister. It's not like he's like friends with, like hung out. I think someone said they hung out with my sister. Like, no, she was just with me. And I don't know what the comment was about with my mom. Like, I think my mom maybe like DM'd him maybe at one point, like saying like, thank you for being like a good friend to Kat back in the day. And then, but when I was going on Paradise, I was like, hey, did you get a call? They just called me. And that's when we started like talking again. But still, like, I mean, I have receipts I can show you. We aren't like BFFs. I do think he felt connected to me because we did have that common ground. So I feel like that's maybe where he was coming from and felt hurt, like as if he was betrayed. But we were friends, but I wasn't considering us a close friend. So I guess I can give context to, I think, how this was misconstrued was when it was right before we started roast. It was like cocktail party and Alicia went to approach Sean and he was talking strategy again. And I watched her like walk away and get emotional. So I went to go check on her, like, are you okay? Like, everything okay? Because I hadn't seen her all day and I didn't know if she knew what Sean was doing. So I wanted to make sure she was okay. And that's when her and Parisa were staying there. She's like, he's just talking strategy again, whatever. She's like, well, isn't he like one of your good friends? Like, what is this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I wouldn't say like good friend. So that's how I remember it. And the last thing I thought was that was going to be like taken to the extent that it was. But that's how I remember the situation. I mean, I'm sure she might remember it a different way or similarly, but that's where I was coming from.
It's also just, you're in it's heightened situations, rose ceremony night. Some things can get taken out of context.
Right.
I mean, being familiar with this world,
Yeah.
your story does sound very believable.
Okay. I don't want it to come off like it's like, because her experience is that too,
Well, I mean, I just, the word friend or best friend or boyfriend or girlfriend in Bachelor world is often thrown around fairly
very
loosely.
freely, yeah.
And a lot of people in this world want to feel connected
Mhm.
to this experience. There is definitely, I've always said this world is very high school. There's definitely like a hierarchy.
Clicky and
Whether that hierarchy is just internalized by each individual of their perception of who is a villain or who is popular, and they, I don't know what Sean thought of you, good or bad, but I'm aware that people will oversell relationships.
Right. And we had that competition
at
factor
times.
too.
I don't know if that's what was going on, but you're assuming you're telling the truth, and I'm not doubting that you are, but like meeting up at a bar in the same town and having one person say we spent the holidays together, or saying we're best friends, because I've had moms reach out to me and thanks for their support, and I was like, I've met them once.
My
So
mom loves to do that too.
I get what you're saying.
But I think also like I am never like afraid to be my full self, and I'll always own anything, like whatever that may be. I also am very aware that I can sometimes be in my own world. So like if there's something about me, like I stand on everything I say and do. I'm very like try to be as authentic as possible. I kind of should probably learn how to not be a little bit sad times, but in that moment, even with Sean, I didn't agree with his actions. I thought that he was moving very like uncomfortably, and that was like our moment to talk about it, which is kind of like what I thought that conversation was going to be, and it turned into something a little bit more intense.
Do you think their accusations at the time in which it came sabotaged you guys, or do you think you guys probably would have been the ones to leave regardless?
I think that was their goal.
We're out.
You think you're out regardless?
We were out regardless.
Oh,
once we didn't win that challenge, I didn't think on it. Like, yeah.
I honestly was kind of confused, honestly, with like how people got by in the next round or not. But I was just
it wasn't the
They didn't
fact.
know he
It
had
wasn't the
trauma.
fact that we, when we didn't win the physical challenge.
when you lost it for the team.
Yeah.
Oh, he was poor. I was literally going up to Andrew being like, how do you handle like a guy that's like been an athlete and like lost because he's really upset and I don't know what to do? Like, do I just let him talk? Like, do I try to support him? Like, I don't know what to do.
It wasn't about the L. It was going into it. I felt vulnerable for the first time in my life physically, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. And but whatever.
Get old.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel to hear Sean say that like all of the women were going to be, what did he say, voting against you, or they didn't like you or something? He made some comment to you sitting by the pool.
Oh, earlier. Yeah, it didn't even make sense.
I don't remember that comment.
I do.
But I
Because
do
did they
hate
even
when
air it
people
when
say
it's
stuff
like,
no one likes you.
I think Alicia's on the chopping block, not Kat.
Yeah. I just didn't, it was really confusing. So my first concern was like, let me go talk to the girls and like, where's this coming from? And then that's when I spoke to them and they were like, because I wasn't around when he was having conversations with people earlier in the day. And they're like, no, this is kind of how Sean's been all day. Like, that's not how we feel. We were worried that like you were like kind of like separating from us. Looking back, I've learned that people had like very different opinions than I thought they did about me. Watching it back has been very interesting from that place. But I don't know. I was just confused by the timing. Like, I'm like, this maybe would have been a better conversation tomorrow. Because like it's roast ceremony
Well,
night.
speaking of opinions, I want to read you a DM I got from one of your peers.
I'm so scared.
Well, it's harsh. I'm going to give you a heads
Wait,
up.
what?
But I want to give you a heads up because
Is it going to hurt my feelings?
Probably. But
Nick? I did not know he was doing that.
But in fairness to you, it's going to be a heads up because aren't you guys going to be recording with these people later?
I'm so sick of my feelings being hurt.
It'll be fine. But I want to give you an opportunity to
Who
defend
is it?
yourself because Parisa.
Oh,
See, that's what I'm saying, man. I live in my own
But she's going to come.
world.
She's going to come for you. So I'm just going to give you a heads up.
she is?
I'm assuming based on what she wrote me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I literally
Is she going to go for
people
Brian?
are so nice to me.
She sent me a DM.
I thought she was going for Brian.
I'm just gonna read. I just want you to have a chance.
When
to
was
respond.
this sent?
Like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. She's like, "Hi, Kat was a bully the entire time in Paradise. Everyone was scared of her, so nobody ever said anything or stood up to her. We did run into Zoe in New York, who kind of said the same thing.
Wait, finish.
It was basically just like,
it
let
was
me
like,
come
please have
on
me
to
on.
talk
It's not that
about.
blah.
Again, it's not
She
She's
was, like,
like,
pitching
then she
herself
wanted
to
to,
come
then
on
she
the
wanted to
show
also
and talk
stand.
about it.
I also want to speak up about Brian because there are so many things that weren't shown. But she just called you a bully.
It's not.
Do you think I'm a bully?
No, I don't think you're a bully, but it's not that deep. Like that's what
I think maybe
But if people are going to have opinions,
Was
at the end of the day, people are going to have
was
opinions. and
Parisa
it's-
one of
it's-
like your girls? Like, do you feel shocked by that, or are you?
Yeah,
like,
we were.
we
She
weren't
was
that
coming to me
close?
about Brian. Like, I'm not gonna cry right now. Hold on.
I don't want
No,
you to
wait,
cry.
don't-
I just
cry.
it's hard. This is hard. Like watching people like
I don't really care.
be
what
very,
people say.
like-
It's like who
I
gives a
can't. But
fuck?
this is what this unfortunately
I
is
know,
what this
it's
world
just crazy.
is. It's everyone wants to like.
Everyone
be
wants
the
to get a word
most.
in. Everyone
Yeah.
wants to get the last
I'm just
word.
confused
But
because
the
like
thing is, if
yeah,
you want to like try to understand everyone's reasoning, you're going to drive yourself crazy because you're not going to find it.
I
And
just
a
don't
lot of
know
this
what's
stuff
real
is-
or not, you know, like,
But it's opinions.
yeah,
So
but it's
she
like,
was
so in
nice
these
to you?
moments, like, yeah,
Huh?
she was coming to me for advice about Brian, like, because I saw a lot of myself in her, and I think she had a little bit of like anxious, like, and I could understand maybe where he was coming from. So like, we would get ready for like rose ceremony and stuff too, and like we were in the room even with like Alicia, like that's and like Zoe was my roommate, and like me and Zoe connected about our childhood. Like I was standing up for her against
Well,
Brian.
Zoe
So,
didn't like Parisa either, so she didn't like anyone.
so hearing
Yeah.
the things that people have just been saying, yeah,
So she wasn't taking sides.
Yeah.
I just
Definitely didn't
But
like Brian.
it's confusing because
Nope,
it's
you don't
like
like him
what's
either.
real or not, you know, with friends.
Is Parisa and Alicia really close?
They were roommates.
Okay.
I don't know where they stand today, but like being called a bully is like I don't my intentions are always like to help people, right? Like, or like if they're going to come to me for things, I am a passionate human being. I am Italian. I speak very intensely and I care very deeply. And maybe that can understand. I've watched stuff back. I've learned that about myself, like that it can be perceived a certain way. But I think the
Like, if
amount
you
of
see
time
her
that we
later
spend with
today,
people.
what do you think she's going to?
I don't know
What
because
is
people
the
are so.
example you think
I
she's
had no
gonna
idea
give you?
Alicia didn't even like me. Like we were friends. Like I was comforting her the night of the rose ceremony. Like I've been there for Parisa throughout the Brian
listen,
You
stuff.
can do everything right, and people are still going to have opinions.
I
And I
get
think
it.
that's
Like,
one of the things that, like,
I will say, like in this world, you know, whether some people agree with me or not, if there are some people who feel shortchanged about their time and convince themselves that they're the victims of something, do you feel like it's just Parisa not getting whatever airtime or attention, or do you think there's a specific example that she's going to bring up where you maybe just didn't remember that?
I don't think. I mean, you can speak to this, but that's not an answer that you can come up with. You know,
I have no
That's-
idea.
I mean, if
Parisa's
your
only
entire
Parisa
recollection
can answer
of,
that.
Yeah, of like your
Only
experience
Parisa
with
can answer
Parisa
that.
is good and positive and like
She loved Parisa. She stuck up for. She's like, I can see where she's coming from. Her, some of the anxiousness here. Like, I've been in her position. I feel for her so much and so deeply. So Kat was a fan of Parisa. I don't know what your guys' conversations were like one-on-one, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
based on the things that you have told me, and even, before the stuff with Alicia and Sean, you never said anything bad about Alicia to me. There was never any conversation. And maybe that's because we were so focused about our own stuff. It's not that what everyone else was doing or saying didn't matter. It's just like we were focused on our world, like.
That makes sense. So maybe they felt like they were entitled to your attention more than.
No,
I don't
mean,
think that.
No,
I think
based on how
if
they
you
were
have
acting.
opinions, sometimes people are going to perceive and take them the wrong way. But
I mean, I think this also like obviously that was tough to hear. I think this like gives you something to go into this and like be like, I thought we had this friendship, but like clearly you don't feel the same way. Like you're going
I just
around
wish people would
and
have
like you're
conversations
like
with
pitching
me.
yourself to go on
So
shows
they've
by like
never
talking
reached
Nobody
out to
reach
you
out.
post
Nobody
show?
tells me how they're feeling. Like if I'm making you feel that way, like I would love for you to say, "Hey, you made me feel this way. Like let's talk
Yeah.
about it," before just putting a characteristic to me or like saying things with so much like intensity so publicly.
but then it doesn't give them the attention.
Yeah, I
Whether
don't
it's
know
right
what
or
their goals are, but nobody that has said any of the things, any of the accusations or spoken on my character, like has had a conversation with me or gotten to know me to that extent, or at least expressed their concerns with me so we can work through it. Because for me, we're friends. Like
And you,
Right, and
in
this
your
feels-
defense, I read that and was like, well, why don't they show it?
what?
Why wasn't it on the entire
if you were a
season?
bully to
Like,
the
why-
girls or if you were
I've seen people made to be villains over nothing, over real,
Yeah.
So if you were in fact a bully,
But if I
I
made
was
her feel
surprised
bullied,
not to have seen that.
but if that is how I made her feel in any way, I was not aware of that based on how our
you would have
interactions
liked
were.
to have known.
And I would have loved to have, because I understand that like sometimes I don't see like how I make people feel, like anybody can. And I appreciate when someone can just be like honest. Like I don't like when moving to California, I learned like people can be a little bit like nice to your face,
Mhm.
but feel a certain way. And I grew up, you be as real as possible. And sometimes that could be taken as like being a bitch.
Mhm.
Um,
Or just if you're direct.
I'm very
Yeah.
direct.
Some people
Yeah.
can't handle that.
But
Yeah. I'm a
Yeah,
bitch.
and but if I make you
come
feel
off
that way, I would
abrasive
love to
sometimes,
have a
I'm very-
conversation about it. Like I never want to make anybody feel like like bullied. So that I'm
Well,
yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
just a
I
lot.
didn't mean to hurt your
I
feelings.
know,
but
I know. It's not
I
you.
wanted to give you a heads
It's
up.
everything because it's been a few things now where I'm just like, man, I don't want to like go through life like not trusting people. And girls for me, like I stand with women almost too blindly. Like it's not even in my bloodstream to stand with a man. So like hearing like girls like be so like so much like unkindness towards another woman in a world where we are already facing enough adversity. We should be supporting each other and uplifting each other and wanting people to see our hearts. And there's just been a lot of not that, and it's hurtful.
Do you feel like Zoe, Alicia, and Parisa are two-faced?
I don't know what their experience is because they haven't expressed it to me.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like if they've been very nice and kind
Yeah.
and liking your Instagram pictures or responding to your stories or like, I don't know, has never brought up some sort of issue, but then is going back and like DMing someone to like get on the show to bash
Yeah.
you, it's like that's two-faced to me in my
Yeah.
experience.
It's just confusing. Like, again, Zoe and I were roommates. I didn't even know she had a feel for Dale. Like, that's how little I knew about people. Like, I learned that watching it back. So I don't know what their intentions are. Maybe things settled and like they feel that type of way. But I think you should always have a conversation with that person. If someone makes you feel that way, talk about it. Maybe they didn't feel comfortable and they felt more comfortable sending a DM to someone else or, like speaking on things on a podcast. I don't
Maybe
really...
you get a chance to ask her.
The thing is, my therapist told me is that to not try to figure out the whys of people's behaviors because that's going to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Because
You're the
I always want to
therapist.
try to understand, and maybe it's because I try to like it's a control thing. If I can
Mhm.
understand, then I can brace myself. But I've learned to like just accept, and because it's just gonna it's gonna drive me crazy because I can never really understand where someone's
Yeah.
coming from. But yeah, that's a lot. But no, I yeah, I feel.
I think you answered it.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay.
Good work.
That's just crazy, man. This has been very different than previously.
I mean, listen,
Really?
your best
Yeah.
your best defense is the fact that it is surprising they didn't say anything to you, and this is information that's catching you off guard. And also, we didn't get to see it on the show.
I'm so
which
surprised it didn't air.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised they didn't show me writing messages on my
Personally, I was a
arms.
little
On your
annoyed at the
arms.
editors, and that when I heard that, I was just like, "Well, I could have used that in episode 5." Honestly, it's a little boring.
I know, right?
There's too much
Where's the
B-roll,
iPad
not
footage?
enough
I
of
would love to see that.
Cat yelling. At
But that's
people.
what I'm it's like. There was iPad versus laptop. Like it's like let's just like have if you're gonna say things about people and the way they moved. I think let's make sure we have everything aligned.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Wishing you guys the best
Thank
of
you
luck.
for having us. I appreciate it.
I hope that we'll see what happens. We're wishing you guys
We're very
nothing but the best.
excited to finally start posting all the pics and like being a real couple. No
That'll
more,
be so
no more
fun.
hiding.
How would you like to be proposed to?
I don't think about that anymore,
Like
Nick.
it
Okay.
Just like random.
I couldn't even tell you how it would because it's
Listen,
Dale's like, I don't even know. I think you lay flat on the ground. I don't know how you
I'm
do
like, does
it.
it go on the left hand or the right?
I'm sure
tell you
Dale
it's not on a
appreciates that.
reality
he knows
show.
I wear gold jewelry. Okay, I only
I'm a
wear
big
gold.
believer, and like a man is only successful as his woman sets him up for
I
success.
don't think
Trust
they're
me.
having any.
Trust me, when we get
they
there,
said
he
they're
will
not
know
having any of those
everything. There will-
conversations right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
enjoying learning
I
about
just
each
want to
other
know,
and
regardless
growing.
of this relationship, you must.
Listen.
We all have what we want in our head.
Yeah, that's what I just has nothing to do with Dale.
My
I just
friend
want to
just did
know
it.
How I wanna
Kenya
be
with the
proposed to?
giraffe.
how you want to be proposed
Not on
to.
television. We'll start there.
Okay.
Perfect.
With a gold ring.
Uh-huh.
Love.
Number 2.
Do you want it documented? Do you want to have a party with friends afterwards?
I do. I
That's what
think
I
an
wanted.
engagement party the day of is the best thing because then like everyone's excited. Like that would be really fun.
That's what-
Honestly, your guys'
How you-
proposal was like goals.
It was.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
so
it's gotta be
perfectly
great.
executed.
I told him, I said, I want
She was
it.
like, I want it documented. I want a party with friends
Oh,
afterwards.
he'll have an Excel. Like I will have
And
a
I take care of the
checklist.
rest.
Yeah. When we get there,
Oh, what?
he will know everything. He'll have a checklist. But I also trust that he is
Natalie
like
has a wish list.
An
of
ongoing
gifts.
wish list that's like for Valentine's Day, for Mother's Day, for birthday, for Christmas. It's a link. It's the color that I want. It's the size
Perfect.
that I want. There's
Really?
a picture of
Damn,
what I
I'm the
want
worst
and a
at
link.
that.
I'm
I mean,
like,
I
you
could-
can't.
Yeah, I don't
You
fucking
can't
know.
go wrong.
I'd like,
100%. Like you literally
I
cannot
could
mess
get
it up.
a courthouse
doing that.
signature and
It's
let's
fine.
just throw a party and do a destination
Great.
wedding.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
could plan a
no.
wedding in 3 days.
Oh my
He
God.
threw an
Okay,
event.
no, 7.
He's like a good event plan. Like I feel like I just have so much trust with his like judgment of things. Like this is the first time in a relationship where I can be like, okay, I trust you. Like I can relax a little bit.
I have to say, it's very heartwarming to see you in this relationship.
Oh, thank you.
I have always loved how authentic you are, even on a couple of seasons ago when
Even
everyone
when I'm
thought you were
screaming
great
crazy
TV.
right now.
like you are great
Yeah,
TV.
that's what-
You're very authentically yourself.
That's your
Um,
default.
and this is a really beautiful thing to see. You look very happy,
Well,
so
thank
we're
you.
very happy.
I
for
am
you.
very happy. It's been very fun.
We
It's
love
been a
it.
much better experience, I'd say,
We love.
despite even the challenges.
I love like Paradise is one of the best experiences of my life. I like probably had too much fun, a little
We were
too much
kicking it.
rosé.
Who did you leave with like your closest friends?
I mean, I'm tight with. I don't have bad blood with anybody.
Okay.
You know, Jeremy was my roommate, so I still communicate with Jeremy. Obviously, Brian, Spencer, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm close with Andrew. We don't talk as much like following the show. I haven't communicated with
chats.
Sean, but regardless of what's gone down, like Sean and I got along on the show. There were now the moments I didn't agree with, obviously. I don't know. Like I was just cool with everybody, and I was just having fun. I was like vacation.
I think we learned about people afterwards a little bit.
You don't have to
Yeah.
answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Classic.
How quickly in your last experience on this show did you know deep down it wasn't going to work?
Like after filming?
Yeah.
Whether it was alignment or just even you know, some things with like family and lifestyles that were not wrong. They were so different with we just had different perspectives, and it just became very clear. And I think the moment things start seeping into your family, your work, and like all these other areas of life, I think that's like a pretty telltale sign. And you ride through it for a while, but it started affecting the people around me very negatively. And not even to like the partner's detriment. I think it was just like sometimes you try to figure out the code and you can't find the code and it drives you nuts. And you're like, why can't I figure out this code? And I think it's just ultimately when it started affecting the people around me. And I think that's kind of a telltale thing for any relationship, right?
Help me learn how to like not be so delulu.
Yeah, but, I mean, you give
love
yourself
it. I
grace.
didn't learn
You
it
do
while I
the
was
best you
looking
can, and like relationships aren't easy.
Anyways, thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate it. We wish you nothing but the best. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Subscribe, tell your friends, all that fun stuff. We'll see you tomorrow. We got Katie from Real Housewives of Orange County to address all the drama that's going on in her world. Also, we have Cecilia. You know her from Tinder Swindler. She's now hosting a new show on Netflix all about relationship scams. And she is with us to talk about all the dirty johns that she has been finding out there. It's a fascinating world. That's all tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.